Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to May 2019. What a gorgeous month ahead. I'm really excited for the way this energy is helping us all flower into kinder, more open beings and feel a lot more of that connectedness and that ease and that comfort and that healing that comes from actively being in the world and having healing experiences, not just sitting at home and crying about it, but connecting in. I know the first quarter, the first third of this year has been pretty profound. One thing that I want to bring up before we get into the reading is I did create a special series for the middle of the year called the Magical Mid-Year Intuitive Guide. I'm going to leave the link for it. It's ready to download on Vimeo. So the link is in the description box. You can click on it and follow it over. But we're going to go over Uranus and Taurus and Chiron and Aries and what that's doing for Aquarians, right? Specifically, how that's going to be affecting you, these long transits, how to use them, how to connect with them, how to get kind of used to where the lens shift is coming in. We're also going to go over the outer planet retrogrades happening over the next 4 months. We have Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all retrograding for a few months, and they're really soft, gentle retrogrades, but they're very powerful for helping us reevaluate some infrastructural things on the soul level. Really powerful and useful and magical behind the scenes work. So I highly recommend you go check those out, and they're really fantastic for feeling empowered. I give a lot of strategies and affirmations specific to your sign so you can feel connected to the process on the mid-range level, right? A little bit of the macro through May to September, but also a sense of connected with the process of what this season is bringing. But for you, Uranus and Taurus is really powerful. It has to do with your fourth house, your home, your mothering, your self-mothering, your internal space, your moon side, your secretive side, your emotional side, right? So you're getting the electrical planet, the innovative planet, the inventive planet in a very personal, hidden, secret side of yourself. Not only that, this month, of course, you have the sun in Taurus. We have a new moon on May 4th in Taurus. We have Mercury moving into Taurus on May 6th. We have Venus moving into Taurus on May 15th. You kind of see a pattern here. We have a lot of energy in Taurus right now. And Taurus is one of our guiding light energies at the moment. It's very nurturing. It's very soft. But having all that energy in Taurus for you the first half of the month means that this is a time when you will be looking at your internal spaces. How do you share of that internal space? Who gets to be in it? And when you're in that internal space, what's surrounding you? And how are you caring for yourself on the emotional front, right? So it's a very secretive, hidden part of your world. It's really important for Aquarians to check in with that. Wheel of Fortune just popped out. Okay, yep. There's some shifting going on here, but a lot of the magic is happening behind the scenes for you. And the way that this month kind of plays out, we start with that really internal secretive energy in your fourth house, right? The world. Okay, we're getting the revolution energies, and Uranus, of course, is your ruling planet. How could I forget to mention that in Taurus? So for you, it's like your ruling planet is personally affecting you at a deep level, and we are revolutionizing, right? Something's turning over. A chapter is turning over. There's something about what's going on with you. You are calibrating, and there's a catalyst involved that is shifting you, but it starts inside. But as we move into the later part of the month, we have a full moon in Scorpio on the 18th, which has to do with your reputation in the world, what you're doing in the world. So you may be finding that you're having a lot of highlight, like how you want to use your energy and your special gifts and talents. Knight of Pentacles. I'm kid you not. I think half the signs got this card this month. He just cannot. He keeps showing up. There's this slow and steadiness. There's this, if you show up to the table each day with the intent of creating and trying and focusing and paying attention to details, you will get results. And there is this steadfastness to that energy that just says, if you want to have the goods right now, Three of Cups, nice. You've got to work with the Taurus energy, which is slow and steady wins the race. It's tortoise and the hare. The tortoise wins the race because he just keeps showing up. Steady and slow. Consistent. But as we move, so you have that full moon in Scorpio, great time to like check in with your goals and where you're going and how you want to use your energy in the world, right? But then we hit into Gemini season, and this is fantastic for Aquarians, and this is a lot less about the secretive, right? Ooh, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, when you're starting to get your way in the world, when you're starting to feel like things are going your way and it's exciting and there's newness, sometimes old demons like to come up and try and protect you and stop you. It's self-defense mechanisms, it's survival mechanisms that we've learned in our nervous system and our brain circuitry that can make it seem like it's very real. We'll talk about it. But Gemini season's playful. It's your 5th house. It's your heart chakra. It's your creativity. And there's this almost like flowering and opening up from Aquarians where, you start the month off in this hidden spot, like kind of just checking in with how you're connecting and then as you get towards Gemini season, it's like your hearts just start to open. And it's like you share of yourself in a really specific, beautiful way. It's a great lifting off point to share of yourself if you've taken the time to nurture internally, right? 4 of Pentacles. Okay, we're going to have to be talking Aquarians because what's going on here? What's going on with this feeling like you can't move on something, like you're not worthy of it, like the money isn't there, the skills aren't there, the permission slip hasn't been written. You're not allowed to move on from something. We're going to have to talk about that because you've got a big shift going on here. Pieces are moving. The puzzle is changing. There's no more sitting where you've been before, and yet it's bringing up some big nerves. Like I said, I'm not surprised. When we're asked to step into a new version of ourselves, and it's happening. We aren't who we were before. We're not moving. 7 of Pentacles. There's a huge reassessment going on here, you guys. There's a huge reassessment going on here with where you're wanting to put your energy and your intent. And I think that could be a really good thing. I think that could be a really good thing for you because, 8 of Swords. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card because we can't leave with all that assessment blind energy. I'm sorry, Aquarians. This is really powerful, though. The symbolism here is super important for us to take a moment to check in with because it's big. High Priestess. Okay, trust your intuition. Trust your higher self. You guys are one of the older signs, right? You're the 11th sign. You're way up there. You can connect into this. This is where you want to go whenever you're starting to feel a little frazzled, right? Okay. So let's talk about why there's such a big reassessment going on here, because there is. That value assessment, that reassessment of your energy and how you're putting it out there in the world is definitely directly tied to the fact that you've got the two big revolution cards of tarot, right? These aren't about death. They're not about destruction. They're not about loss of self, but they are about the wheel turning, the clock turning, the season turning, and there being no going back. And there's a relentlessness to this because it really is kind of like, okay, that book is done. It's not even just the page has been turned. That book is done. You have to open up this new book. There isn't a choice. There isn't an option for you to stick with what you've done before. So there's a relentlessness to this because it's something you're ready for. It's something you're ready to engage with. It's something that you're ready to step into. Also, though, the way that I often talk about these 2 cards, because one is a 10, the Wheel of Fortune is a 10, which is Alpha, Omega, open, close, and the World is the final major arcana, so also open and close. These 2 cards represent a very specific point in the process. And it's not a foggy, I don't know what's next. It's like what's next, but there is this little space that exists between what we've experienced and what we are about to go into that is its own little world. It's a very important part of the process. It doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think, in the narratives we see in movies, in books, on social media. That it's kind of this holding space. It's almost like you can look at your life as a third party. You can see who you've been and that's closed out. You can see where you're headed and why it matters to connect in with that. And you know what that's looking like and feeling like, but you're not quite in it yet. You know, you're not fully integrated into that next version of self. So you're kind of sitting in this spot right in the middle. And it's good. You're happy. You're excited. You know this is right. You know this is where you want to be heading. But it can feel a little alarming because it doesn't get talked about, even though this happens multiple times in our life. It's a very common part of the process. I mean, depending on who you are, it's like this can happen like every 6 months, every year, every couple of years. It happens a lot, but we don't acknowledge it. So it's really important to kind of understand that this is an important point within the process of your shifting. And that's part of what these assessment energies are doing. It's part of what this hallway does for you and with you. It does not have to be something that's torturous or demanding of you, and it doesn't have to be scary. In fact, this is really positive. You're about to get a lot of rewards. I mean, even just looking at these next two cards, right? These are about steady, consistent change. Like I was saying with the Knight of Pentacles, this is about implementing change in the day-to-day, in the details, and taking your time. I mean, Uranus is your ruling planet, of course, but you also have Saturn. You have a close relationship with Saturn. So the dualism of Aquarians is always fascinating to me because you have these two planets. One is the wild, erratic one that was discovered not that long ago, just 200-300 years ago. And then you have the old school dad energy of Saturn. But there's a part of you Aquarians that can, you know, you have fixed energy that can show up time and again to build something of value. And that is one of your power plays. Not only is it your intuition, it's also an understanding that what you're building right now, what you're creating right now, what you're about to experience right now has a lot to do with slowing down and paying into the details. Now, the other thing that's really important, the message that's coming through for me, is it's very important for you guys to socialize and to let people in, you know, whoever that is that you can listen to, that you can communicate with, that can make you feel like you're a part of a whole. Spend some time on those energies. Don't self-isolate too much, you know, because I think you will be kind of tempted to do so. It'll be very tempting to kind of pull back and take your time by yourself, and that's good. Definitely, you know, don't fight that too much, but also don't do it to the point where you start to get kind of funky, you know, where you've spent like every night in for, you know, 2 weeks. You start to kind of lose your sense of social norm. You know, it's like, it's very important for you to connect and be jubilant, have fun. Yes, there are reassessments going on. Yes, you are transforming. It doesn't mean it has to be hard and heavy, but here's the thing. You guys are going towards really beautiful, lush connections, relationships, work, lifestyle. All of that's coming in. And part of what May is doing with you is it's having you make sure that you are not sabotaging that. You're not stopping yourself. And every single one of these 4 cards at the top is a little journey through that process. Now here's the thing. So we start with the 4 and 5 and 4 of Pentacles. And these two address different aspects of worthiness when it comes to money and when it comes to value. Just like general value. This is a great time, by the way, if you're getting these cards, to do some reading or listen to some podcasts that have to do with like money and the flow of energy of money and also of self-value and how that's all linked up. It's a great time to get motivated and to kind of rethink your wiring when it comes to value on those fronts. And if you feel that you need to be giving away all your time and all your energy, if you need to be giving of yourself all the time, if you're not allowed to like make income and stuff like that, it's a great time to check in with that. But you have these 2 cards, right? Because this one is about feeling shut out and locked out from connection to source. It's also that feeling of unworthiness. We're not worthy of this big next thing, so you're just going to lock yourself out in the snow, right? And that's often an old remnant from survival that we had to learn at a young age. The 4 of Pentacles is a fear of making a move. It's a fear of stepping into what you know you want to be doing and instead holding yourself back and just holding on to what is known and getting really rigid and scared. So you're getting these hits, which tells me intrinsically there's big new stuff getting offered up to you. And it is causing anything that's resistant, anything that's nervous about that to kick up and to start talking. And so just be aware that that's coming up. But here's the thing. That's what the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords are doing here for you. You're not supposed to be running around taking all the actions this month and trying to make it all make sense. This is a beautiful month to find your root system, to reconnect with your value, to assess what thoughts you want to bring along with you, to assess what habits you want to bring along with you, and what people and what spaces you want to bring along with you. And the Eight of Swords stops you from moving so that you don't get yourself bound up in commitments and ideas and things that aren't going to serve you past, May 31st. Because there will be this urge to just get to some conclusions, just get to some solutions. Let's just get to the point so that I just have my answers. But then you're left with these things that starting June, July, you're going to be like, that wasn't really what I wanted. So you might as well just take the quiet. You might as well just listen into what this is, what this hallway is giving you. You might as well listen into the seeds under the ground. The thing is that for you, it's like, if you're paying attention, you will be building something all of May. You will be building it step by step. And it will be powerful, and it will be strong, and it will line up with who you are becoming, and it will line up with who you want to be. And it just is about steadiness and progress. It's not about ups and downs. And sure, you'll have days where you have to hit into this self-valuing. That's okay. Like I said, it's normally an indicator that there's some kind of big growth happening that causes you to reassess any of those habits of holding yourself back or feeling you're not worthy. And this is really the key point where we can put the healing ointment of new thought onto those old beliefs and break them apart for good. It happens when we are in a catalytic moment of change. When we take the time to say, this new thing is coming in, this new way of doing life is coming in, I can feel these old thought patterns coming up. This is when you put the ointment of grace and peace right on them. You recognize them, you acknowledge them, you integrate them, and they break apart and they leave you be because you show yourself and your nervous system, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind and all the parts of yourself. You show it that, see, I'm doing it this new way and I feel better. We don't need this stuff anymore. And your whole system on every level is like, oh yeah, you're right. And what's more powerful? What's more freeing? What's more consistent than that? What's going to set you up for the most success and the most love than that? This is where the real building gets done. And we can talk all we want about playfulness and, ooh, you're getting infusions of money. And that could be the case, honestly, with what you've got going on here. But this is really where the freedom starts. This is really where the cool, interesting stuff happens. And the High Priestess is a reminder of that. And I know you guys are ready to roll with this because Aquarian energy is into getting into the good stuff in life and figuring it out and diving deep. So I'm not too worried about you, but you have some big themes coming up. So be gentle with yourselves this month. Love on yourselves. Go check out and download the Magical Midyear Intuitive Guide, and that might be a really helpful way to start thinking about what the next few months are going to be bringing in for you. You can also follow me on Instagram at Sarah Verba. I would love to see you there. That's where I'm going to be doing updates on any last minute appointments I might have available. I'm going to be trying some different things with scheduling because I am scheduled so far out. It's hard for me to plan into October, November. I don't know what my travel schedule is going to be like, so I'm doing a little bit more immediate scheduling. So kind of highly recommend checking out that. But you can also find information about what my sessions are like and who I am on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. So go check that out, and you can find my email there and everything that you need to know about me in the description box, including the Magical Midyear. Once again, I had a lot of fun creating it, and I just think you guys will really enjoy it. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy store. I will leave her link in the description box. She's always making new, beautiful, one-of-a-kind, all ethically sourced, handmade by one woman, PinkLune, Tiffany at PinkLune. I will leave her Etsy shop below. She's giving you 15% off. She is one of my special people in my life. That's why I talk about her. I am sending you guys so much love. Really take good care of yourselves this May, and I will see you for a lot more excitement in June.